Destiny 2 is considered by many to be a first-person shooter MMO, the big key there being an MMO. And although it is incredibly unique for this genre and very different than a traditional MMO, we're going to be comparing the pricing structure of it today with Final Fantasy XIV. I've played a ton of Final Fantasy XIV and loved every second of it. It's closer to a traditional MMO and something I am personally very familiar with. So we're going to jump right into the pricing structure and the content that you receive for both of these games. Now, Destiny 2 has a free-to-play version for everyone to try. It'll give you access to the PvP, Vanguard missions, Gambit, and a few other modes as well. You can even get to the max light level as a free-to-play player, which is very significant in my opinion. I know many people have never paid a dime for Destiny 2 and I've gotten hours and hours of gameplay out of it. Looking at Final Fantasy XIV, they also have a free trial of the game that includes a Realm Reborn and the Heavensward expansion. No fees with this version of the game, and just like with Destiny 2, I know a ton of people who just play hours and hours and hours of the free version of Final Fantasy XIV. So now let's get into paying for content and what we get for that content. Let's start with Final Fantasy XIV. It's going to cost you $60 at the time of this video to unlock all the expansions the game currently has to offer. That includes Heavensward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, and Endwalker. Each of these expansions has a massive story and many hours of gameplay behind them, as well as new gear and more levels to unlock, as well as raids and dungeons, so they're well worth what you pay in my opinion. Destiny 2, however, currently offers what's called the Legacy Collection, which gives you access to Beyond Light, Forsaken, Shadowkeep, all for $60 as well at the time of this recording. So we give you access to new story missions, raids, dungeons, armor, weapons, all that kind of fun stuff. But keep in mind that it does not include the newest expansion, the Witch Queen, which will set you back a minimum of $40. There's also optional a season pass that you can buy in Destiny 2, which is going to set you back another $10 per season. With that season pass, you just get access to new weapons, rewards, all that kind of stuff while that season pass is active. There's also a 30th anniversary pack currently available in the game that gives you access to specific gear and weapons behind another paywall of $15. It's on sale for $15 on the PlayStation Store anyway at the time of this recording. So keeping on that pay train, if you did not purchase the deluxe edition of the Witch Queen and you want to play the new dungeon from the Witch Queen, you gotta fork up another $20 out of your pocket if you want to just play that dungeon, which gives you access to certain weapons and gear as well, just different stuff, right? Also the content behind the dungeon as well, right? Going through the dungeon, all that kind of fun stuff. So also keep in mind that Destiny 2 has taken away certain content specifically for the Forsaken expansion, and I know it's caused a lot of disruption in the community, and I totally understand that. For paying for content and then having that content taken away can be incredibly frustrating. So after hearing all of that, you think that Destiny 2 and Bungie are way out of line. They seem to nickel and dime their player base for every new little piece of content. If you want, oh, you want this cool new gear? Pay it. You want this? Gotta pay for it. I can see how this looks really bad for anyone trying to get into Destiny 2 as a quote-unquote MMO. However, I left out one big piece of information about Final Fantasy XIV and a lot of other MMOs out there. So Final Fantasy XIV has a monthly subscription that you have to pay. That's $14.99 per month. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but that adds up to $180 every single year. There are options to pay a little less that goes down to like $12.99 a month, but most of the time, most people I know and how I paid when I paid the monthly subscription, it's $14.99 a month, $15 a month, about $180 per year. With this in mind, I think Destiny 2 just has a different pricing structure than a traditional MMO. It's a shooter MMO, but at least there's no monthly subscription, right? So I think it'd be much worse off if Destiny just offered all the expansions for $60 right now and then charged like $15, anywhere from $10 to $20 a month just to log in and play the game. So one of the ways I like to think about it is I think Destiny 2, one of the nice things about it is you can kind of pay for what you want. If there are a few weapons and armor and a certain expansion of the game, say like Beyond Light, you want some of the exotics and maybe some of the legendary gear in there, you can purchase just Beyond Light if you wanted to, right? And get access to all of that stuff in Beyond Light. And if a season comes along and it's got some really cool gear that you like, that looks awesome, kind of like the season of the haunt right now, you can pay for just that season. I don't have to pay for this season and the next season and the season after that if I want the gear, right? I can kind of pick and choose what I want to pay for. So I think that's something that can be looked at as a real positive for the game. Comparing that to something like Final Fantasy XIV, I could never even come close to getting through all of the content offered in the game at the moment. There are so many quests, dungeons, side quests, a lot of things to do in that game that would take an extremely long time to complete all of them. And a lot of that stuff I don't have any interest in doing, but in order to even like log in and play the game, I got to pay that $14.99 a month. So if I wanted to hop in and do a raid with my friends or something like that, and I hadn't paid my monthly subscription next month, I got to fork up that $14.99 just to log in. So with that in mind, I think everyone should just kind of look at Destiny 2's pricing structure as pay for what you want. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not perfect by any means. It can be very, very frustrating if there's, let's say, like one exotic hand cannon from a certain expansion that you want to buy and gain access to, but you got to pay for that entire expansion just to access that one weapon that you really, really want. That can be extremely frustrating. But I think thinking about Destiny 2's pricing structure in that way, kind of like pay for what you want, it's a little easier for me to look past those paywalls and enjoy the parts of the game that I already have access to. Now, do I think I'm going to cave one day and just buy it all? Probably. Haven't done it yet. I just have access to the Witch Queen, which I very much enjoy. But at least if I do finally fork up all that money, I'll just have to do it once, and I will never ever have to pay a dime just to log in and go to the Crucible and have fun in Destiny 2. So that's how I look at it, and I think that's a good way to kind of look at the defense of all the pricing structure of Destiny 2 and how it is right now. So thank you everyone. If you did watch this video and got something out of it, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that kind of fun stuff. I'm happy to discuss any thoughts down below in the comments. Take care everyone. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.